Cyberpunk is here and we've been trying to find all the little stuff that might be easy to miss. Hi folks, it's Falcon and today on gameranx, 23 insane little details in Cyberpunk 2077. Now just a quick disclaimer, this is stuff that you're gonna find spending time in the Cyberpunk world, and some people might want to find this stuff for themselves, but we just thought this is too interesting not to talk about all of these. Starting off at number 23, the reload animations are different depending on if the clip is empty or not. For any gun enthusiast, any little detail is a must, and they really nailed it for this game. Like reloading a double-barreled shotgun after only one shot means you only reload one shell rather than both, and you don't cock pistols and machine guns if there's still a bullet in the chamber, while you do if there isn't. It's little stuff, and it's really neat to see. At number 22, the graveyard actually updates when certain NPCs die. At the start, this place won't have a lot of names to find, but by the end, you'll see a lot more. People to look out for are really any story-relevant characters, or, people that have died, or people you specifically get jobs to assassinate. It's just interesting to see this type of a thing. At number 21, there's a gun vending machine that is very, very easy to miss. And it dispenses a uniquely crappy looking pistol too. It's called the Slaughtomatic. It's basically a budget gun, if that makes any sense. The manufacturer is Budget Arms, and it's basically a disposable firearm which you discard after you run out of bullets. I really feel like it's designed to look like a glue gun. I might be wrong, but if you've ever played around with one of those hot glue guns as a kid, like pretending to have a gun, you know exactly what I mean. At number 20, this crazy little detail regarding detaching limbs. Okay, so shooting them and chopping them, completely different things. When you cut limbs off, it leaves a nice clean slice, as though the body were made of butter and you had heated up your knife. Whereas if you use a gun or an explosive to remove a limb, it is a mess. It leaves that part of their body just shredded and destroyed. At number 19, a cool little detail for motorcycle fans. When you are on a bike, look at V's right arm. V manually shifts gears while riding a bike. Is it an important detail? Not really, but it's really cool. These are the types of things that just make the game extremely real feeling at times. At number 18, guitar playing NPCs actually accurately play the song that they're playing, as in the song positions are on time and actually match the rhythm of the song they play. It's not always true for random NPCs on the streets, but you can clearly see it during this small side job near Jub Jub Street. At number 17, guns appear in the empty slots in the stash in V's apartment. Not every single one that you find or anything, but when you get an iconic weapon, basically better weapons with unique perks, there's a good chance it may show up there. Now, again, it's fairly limited in scope, but if you get the weapons that go in this room, it can get looking really cool. At number 16, certain districts have old posters and ads rather than new ones. Like places that have fallen into ruin like Pacifica have these ads that only appear in Johnny Silverhand flashbacks, which makes some of them over 50 years old, which means they're still in pretty good condition considering how long they've been up for. At number 15, you can activate the ferris wheel. It just distracts enemies and it doesn't work very well, but I mean, it's cool, right? Obviously, this isn't like a huge detail or anything. You don't get like a bonus for activating the ferris wheel, but it's really cool that you can. At number 14, it's not just the Ferris wheel either. You can actually ride the roller coaster. There's a quest that you can complete near the roller coaster by the mall in Pacifica, and it's not that difficult, and it gives you access to ride the roller coaster. It's very serendipitous, I guess. It's not like a difficult thing, a hidden thing. It's just a fun little detail.
Oh, shit!
At number 13, you can see gangs get into fights with each other out on the streets, and sometimes there's even police shootouts in certain parts of the city. It does not happen in every single part of the city that you can go to, and the police obviously don't go into Pacifica, but if you're hanging around the borders, they do get into shootouts. At number 12, you can get the iconic samurai jacket pretty late in the game. But if you want it early, you can do a little job that gets you a replica of the samurai jacket. The problem is, and this is something that I personally really love about the idea of a replica jacket, it's an actual, like, full-on knockoff, just like in real life. They misspelled samurai, and it says Samaria, which I don't practice Samaria. I ain't got no crystal ball, you know? At number 11, there are things that are called forgiveness booths, and you can use them. If you've got $6 on you, you'll be quote unquote forgiven for all of your sins. Now, these things only appear in Latino sections of the city, like Haywood, for instance. They're obviously kind of a stand-in for the idea of a confession booth or something, but they don't actually do anything. At number 10, there are actually websites you can visit. They look like they're from the 90s for story reasons, and because it's probably just funnier that way too. Like the news site updates when things happen in the game world, but because it's a cyberpunk dystopia, the news about what is going on in the world is behind a paywall, which says something about the real world, doesn't it? At number 9, there is lip syncing in 10 different languages in this game. Like, check it out. Most games don't even bother with this feature, but Cyberpunk has accurate lip syncing in multiple languages, and it's generated using an AI, so it's not as detailed as a lot of the other games' facial animations, but it does match, and holy crap, it's awesome that they even bothered to do that. A lot of the time, games just flat out just ignore that. At number 8, obviously the cars themselves in this game are just excruciatingly detailed. They are all unique. They all have a customized interior, unique engine blocks, unique trunks. I mean, go ahead, inspect a car in this game. Spend the time looking it up and down. You will see so many interesting things, like even different fabric patterns down to the seats. Like, if you want to know why this game took so long, it's stuff like this. At number 7, if you thought the cars were detailed, you should check them out once they get damaged, because car damage modeling is extremely detailed as well. Like, the bumper and hood can get damaged and fall off, lights can get knocked out. If anything, the car physics can be a little too detailed at times. Obviously, these things can be a little difficult to control, so I get it. It's amazing, though. At number 6, this is a little bit of a smaller detail, even within this set of small details, but look at the digital displays and stuff. When your car takes a bump, like, they'll get messed up in various little ways. It's cool. At number 5, we mentioned much earlier the disposable guns by Budget Arms, and really they manufacture a lot of different weapons, and they are noticeably cheaper looking. Like, there's more obvious welding on them. In some cases, they just look silly. Most other guns look pretty normal, but the Budget Arms guns are just cheap and crappy looking. And I always thought that was just a good way to make a world feel real, is to have some form of cheapness and crappiness to certain items in the world. Doing it with guns was just a stroke of genius, in my opinion. At number 4, brain dances often hide little details. Like, in the first one you do, it shows a guy racking a gun, but there's no bullet inside, and racking it again doesn't cause a bullet to eject. This shows that the guy who gave him the gun betrayed him by giving him an unloaded weapon. And of course, in the end of this brain dance, he shoots the guy in the back, as you might expect. I mean, some of these brain dance stories are pretty unoriginal, right? It's not exactly the golden age of brain dance Hollywood, is it? Not anymore anyways. At number 3, there are a large number of breakable objects in this game. A lot more stuff in the environment will break than you first might think, like garbage goes flying, boxes and shelves fall down. You can make like a huge mess in certain areas if you really want to. So, I mean, do some trying out of busting up the environment. It's sometimes gonna surprise you. At number 2, clothing has a definite thickness to it, and if somebody has a glowing tattoo, sometimes you can see it through the clothing if the clothing is thin enough or translucent enough. It's kind of a neat feature, and it definitely adds to the realism of the game. And finally, at number 1, crosswalks work realistically. Like, okay, so they change when the light changes, and people only cross the street when the walk symbol is on, which is maybe not actually completely realistic, but they will start running if they're still on the street and the walk symbol goes away. Now, this is particularly wild because if you decide that you want to cross the street without right of way, you're just going to get plowed into by a car. Like, they're like, no, the law is really important here in Night City, as far as traffic goes. Everything else, not so much. But traffic, we respect the traffic laws here. And if you don't, you're getting plowed into by a car. Anyways, that's all we've got for these insane little details we thought were worth drawing some attention to in Cyberpunk 2077. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. The best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. So click subscribe. Don't forget to enable all notifications. And as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter, @FalconHero. We'll see you next time right here on gameranx.